Do you own a service-based business or you're looking to own one, start one? Then today I'm going to be talking about, I would say, the number one misconception and the number one drawback when it comes to service-based industries. And here's the thing. You probably don't even really know about this, or maybe you do, but you haven't put a lot of thought or effort into figuring out this side of the business. And so if you're interested in learning more, stick around because I'll be diving deep on this topic that can really make or break you in the service-based industry. Stick around. Okay, so I want to get right into the topic. We get so excited about getting into business and creating this future for ourselves, this business for ourselves, the entrepreneur inside of us. And it's not even just in the service-based industry where a lot of people fall short of this aspect in business, because truth of the matter is, I think like 80% of businesses within like their second year fail, especially small businesses. And so where can we glean from, our Fortune 500, Fortune 300 businesses and, try to take from what they're doing, which is working for them, and from the success stories of people around us who have been in business 10, 15, 20 years, and they're still loving it. This is the key. They're still loving it. They're not a slave to it. And so basically, I want to get into the topic of, I got like a little hair in my mouth. Okay. I want to get into this topic of not creating a job for yourself. My name is Joseph Burke. I'm the founder of ServiceBizGo, where I help service-based industry leaders, entrepreneurs succeed in their business and not just create a job for themselves, but a business for themselves. If this term is new to you, not creating a job for yourself, but a business for yourself, then I really, really, really want you to listen in. If you're familiar with this term and you're still watching this video, it probably means that you're stuck having created a job for yourself. So it may be even more important for you to pay attention. And I was in the same boat. This is my fourth service-based industry, I believe, now, which is I still own a handyman company and am currently operating a painting business. Basically, my story was I got into window cleaning, I got into pressure washing, I got into handyman services, even a construction company. And at the end of the day, I had just created a really great high-paying job for myself, which even when I would, look at my numbers at the end of the year, after overhead and expenses paying W-2 employees and labor costs, material costs, the idea that these jobs were never really the same, in these industries. When it came to the pressure washing and the window cleaning, it was definitely the same. But when I really started seeing really good pay was in the handyman construction side. But the downside was I created a job for myself. Basically, what I mean is this, is we aspire as entrepreneurs to start a business. A business is something that you are running and operating and is not necessarily running and operating you. We want to create a business for ourselves that we can take time off and we're still generating income. We're still producing work for somebody else, for somebody else's family, for other people. And we're also not tied to those people. To find this ebb and flow in business is absolutely critical. One book that really got me into this, and I'm sure if you're familiar, you're already thinking about it, is the E Myth. And basically, what I've taken from that book, I'm breaking down here in this video in the service-based industry model. And so if you're considering starting a service-based business, or you already own a service-based business, the question I want to ask you is, if you, God forbid, hurt yourself, or got sick, or make up something, crazy here, to you, to the owner, if something happened to you, would you still be able to service those pools, do the handyman work, pressure wash those houses, those driveways, paint those homes, clean those houses? And if the answer is no, then you've created a job for yourself. If the answer is yes, no problem. If something happened to me, the work would keep flowing almost as if I hadn't been there. I want to give you one example. So I started a painting business. The number one reason I started the painting business was because I realized I needed to create something for myself that I could step away from, and the paint would continue to be being applied onto the houses. The work would continue to flow, and the revenue would continue to come in. Why did I want to create this for myself? Is because I believe in a godly perspective that God designed man to be fruitful and multiply. Multiplication requires a person planting a seed, and a seed doesn't come from that seed. Thousands of seeds come from that seed. We live in an upbringing from the Industrial Revolution, where you clock in at 8, you leave at 5, and all that work you did is for somebody else. And it's really only adding to them. It's not really multiplying within the workplace. God wants us to be stewards of the things that we have so that they can multiply. And so, not to lose you here, basically, what I realized is, as a believer in God, as a business owner, and somebody who wants to be faithful with what I have, I see that there was a gap in the plan and the structure that I had, where it was all dependent on me. And that's not multiplication. That's really kind of addition. And the idea of creating a business for yourself, not a job for yourself, I created the painting business because I was able to hire subcontractors. Subcontractors have allowed me to step away from the day-to-day paint, brush, and bucket work of the job itself. And it has allowed me to focus on the business itself. There's a great saying, I believe it's in the E-Myth, where it says we should be working on our business, not in our business. And so, tip number one to the person who's watching this, you need to create a model for your business where you can exit the business. And you may be saying, well, that's impossible, or I have no idea how I could possibly do that, or that would require so much this or that or that. At the end of the day, it's going to require faith. It's going to require a trust in the people around you. We have this idea that people can't do it as good as me. And I want to tell you that's wrong. I started these businesses where I was the main worker in the job. And a big reason was because nobody could do it like I could. The moment I realized that if I wanted to have a business for myself, I was going to have to hire people. And I didn't want to hire W-2 employees because you have to train them, You still have to give them all the equipment, the trucks, the this, the that. With W-2 employees, and maybe this isn't applicable necessarily for your business, but that's why I started a painting business, is because it does apply. There's plenty of businesses out there where they don't want to do the marketing, they don't want to do the sales, they just want to show up and do the work. And that's where I get to shine, is in the sales and marketing aspect, working on my business, not in my business. And so if you're in a business where there's opportunity for that, you see opportunity that, I want to bring it back to this idea that you are not as good as you probably think you are. If you were the best, as well as every other business owner, that would be impossible, because there can only be one person who's the best, right? And so if this is a common thread among so many business owners, there's some fallacy there. Example is, I hired my subcontractors, and it took so much faith in the person, in God, and being able to let that role go and trust that this process of multiplication could take forth. And you know what I found out? I found out that these guys were actually way better than me at painting, at cutting, at taping, putting plastic on the windows. I'd be putting plastic on the windows, the breeze would come, my plastic would be gone. These guys were so professional. Actually, the best review that I have gotten on Google was the first day that I used these guys. Was the first project I used them. Was the best review. It was like an essay. This person wrote like an essay on how great the company, the work, the service of this and that. And I think I picked up a brush for maybe 30 minutes, the whole project. And that entrepreneurial side in me, it was like it finally got to breathe again. I had put down the bucket. I had put down the paint. I had trusted somebody else. I trusted God in this process. And it worked. And so I just want to encourage whoever's watching this, new owner, past owner, somebody who's been in the business for a long time, is that if you want to own a business, you need to get out of the business and start working on the business. And so if that's something that you're interested in, maybe getting some coaching, some help, feel free to reach out to me. I'll put the information here in the description below on how you can get a hold of me, and we can book a free call and just see if it's even a good fit. But my goal with this channel, with this video, is I've been doing this for years now, starting multiple home service-based businesses and seeing the drawbacks and the setbacks of this number one thing, which is constantly being in the business and not working on the business. So if you needed to hear this, be sure to like the video, subscribe, share it with a friend, share it with a pro in the home service industry, and maybe it can help them out. Reach out. We'd love to hear from you. All right. God bless you guys. Bye till next time.